Learn English through story. Beneath the silk, in the heart of a bustling city, where skyscrapers kissed the sky and the streets were alive with the pulse of urban life, there was a quaint, unassuming shop nestled between the glimmering facades of high-end boutiques. It was called Silk Shadows, a small fabric store owned by a woman named Aria. The shop was known for its exquisite collection of silk fabrics, each piece draping like liquid moonlight and whispering secrets of elegance and allure. Aria was a woman of quiet grace, her demeanor reflecting the delicate beauty of the silks she sold, with raven black hair that cascaded over her shoulders and deep, soulful eyes that seemed to hold a world of stories. She had an aura that drew people in. Yet, beneath her polished exterior lay a heart weighed down by the shadows of her past. Years ago, Aria had left her family home in a small town, a place that had suffocated her with expectations and traditions. She had a talent for sewing and design, but her parents had envisioned a different life for her, one that involved a safe job and a respectable marriage. The thought of a conventional life filled her with dread, and so she escaped to the city, seeking freedom and the chance to carve out her own destiny. At Silk Shadows, Aria poured her heart into her work. Each fabric she selected was infused with her passion, and each design she created reflected her artistic spirit. But the weight of her decision to leave her family lingered like a shadow. She often found herself wondering whether she had made the right choice, especially on lonely nights when the city felt overwhelmingly empty. One rainy afternoon, as the city streets shimmered with droplets, a man entered the shop. He was tall and striking, with tousled hair and an air of confidence that filled the space around him. His name was Victor, a fashion designer known for his innovative designs and flamboyant style. He had come to Silk Shadows seeking silk for his upcoming collection, and as soon as he stepped inside, he was captivated by the ambience and Aria's presence. "Wow, this place is a treasure," Victor exclaimed, his eyes darting from one vibrant bolt of fabric to another. "I can already feel the inspiration in the air." Aria smiled, her heart racing slightly at his enthusiasm. "Thank you." I carefully curate each piece. Silk has a way of telling stories, don't you think? "Absolutely," Victor said, moving closer to her. "It's like each piece is a character waiting for its moment to shine." "I'm Victor, by the way, Aria," she replied, feeling a strange pull toward him. "What are you designing?" "I'm working on a collection that reflects the duality of light and shadow," he said, his eyes glinting with excitement. "I want to explore the contrast between elegance and rawness, how beauty often hides beneath the surface." Aria felt an instant connection to Victor's vision. They spent hours discussing fabrics, colors, and the intricate relationship between art and emotion. As they worked together, Victor encouraged Aria to share her own design ideas, pulling her from the shadows of self-doubt. Days turned into weeks, and their collaboration blossomed into a friendship. Victor would visit Silk Shadows regularly, often bringing coffee and pastries to share with Aria as they brainstormed ideas. Their conversations flowed easily, filled with laughter and creativity. Each meeting felt like a breath of fresh air, and for the first time in years, Arya began to feel alive again. One evening, after a particularly productive day, Victor invited Arya to his studio. "You need to see where the magic happens," he said, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. As they entered the studio, Arya was awestruck. The walls were lined with sketches, fabric swatches, and half-finished garments, all vibrant with color and life. "It's beautiful," she breathed, taking in the creative chaos around her. Victor walked over to a dress form draped in a stunning silk gown, the fabric shimmering in the soft light. "This is what I've been working on for the collection," he said, adjusting the fabric. "But I think it needs something extra. I'd love your input." Ari stepped closer, her fingers brushing against the fabric. "It's exquisite, but I agree. Perhaps adding a contrasting color would enhance its depth, something to evoke a sense of mystery." Victor watched her with admiration, clearly captivated by her insight. "You have such a gift, Arya. I'd be lost without your perspective." Flushed by his compliment, Arya felt a thrill of excitement. They worked together late into the night, bouncing ideas off one another, their synergy electric. As the hours slipped away, an unspoken tension began to grow between them, a connection that transcended friendship. When the last stitch was sewn and the final adjustments made, Victor turned to Arya, his expression serious. "Thank you for believing in me, for helping me see this vision through. I couldn't have done it without you." She smiled, her heart racing as she met his gaze. "It was a pleasure. You inspire me to push my boundaries." "Maybe we could push those boundaries further," he said softly, stepping closer. "I feel something between us, something more than friendship." Arya's breath hitched in her throat. She had felt it too, the magnetic pull that seemed to draw them together. But shadows of doubt crept in. "Victor, yeah." Before she could finish her thought, he reached for her hand, intertwining their fingers. "I know you have your fears, but I promise to respect your pace. I just want you to know that you're not alone anymore." In that moment, the walls around Arya's heart began to crumble. She allowed herself to lean into the connection, their lips meeting in a soft, tentative kiss that ignited a fire within her. The taste of silk and sweetness lingered on her lips, a promise of what could be. As their relationship blossomed, Arya found herself falling deeper for Victor. He became a source of strength and encouragement, inspiring her to explore her creative side beyond the confines of her shop. Together, they embarked on a journey of passion and exploration, both in art and in life. Yet, the shadows of her past lingered, a constant reminder of the choices she had made. Arya struggled with the fear of rejection, the worry that Victor would one day see her as a failure, just like her parents had. Despite the warmth of his presence, she often felt the weight of uncertainty pressing down on her. One evening, as they sat together in the park, Arya opened up about her fears. "Sometimes, I feel like I'm not enough," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "Like I'm still chasing shadows from my past." Victor took her hands, his grip firm and reassuring. "Arya, you are more than enough. You've overcome so much to be where you are. Don't let those shadows dictate your worth." But as the weeks turned into months, the weight of her past began to seep into their relationship. Aria found herself withdrawing, caught in a cycle of self-doubt and fear. She began to shy away from their creative collaboration, fearing that she would disappoint Victor or, worse, expose her vulnerabilities. Victor noticed the change in her. "What's going on, Aria? You seem distant lately," he said one night, concern etched on his face. "I just need some time to think," she replied, avoiding his gaze. "I'm not sure if I'm ready for all of this." He reached out to touch her arm, his eyes searching hers. "You don't have to do this alone. Let me in. I want to help you, but I can't if you're pushing me away." Aria felt a pang of guilt. "I'm sorry, Victor. It's just a broken bar. I've always been afraid of being vulnerable. My past has a way of creeping in, reminding me of what I left behind." "Your past doesn't define you, Aria," he said softly. "We can create a future together that reflects who you truly are. But I need you to trust me." His words struck a chord deep within her. Trust had always been a difficult concept for Aria, but in that moment, she realized that she needed to confront her fears rather than allow them to dictate her life. Taking a deep breath, she nodded. "I want to try. I want to be brave." With newfound determination, Aria began to embrace her artistic side. She started creating a new collection of garments inspired by her journey, pieces that reflected both her struggles and her triumphs. Victor stood by her side, offering unwavering support and encouragement as they collaborated on designs that blurred the line between fashion and art. As they worked together, Aria discovered a sense of liberation she hadn't felt in years. She poured her heart into every stitch, letting her creativity flow freely. Each piece she created was a testament to her growth, a symbol of the light that had emerged from the shadows. But just as things seemed to be falling into place, an unexpected storm loomed on the horizon. One evening, as they prepared for their first joint exhibition, Aria received a phone call that shattered her newfound confidence. "Aria, it's your mother," the voice on the other end said, laced with urgency. "Your father is in the hospital. It's serious." Panic flooded her senses. "What happened?" she demanded, her heart racing. "He collapsed at home. The doctors say it's a heart attack. You need to come home." Torn between the love for her family and the life she had built in the city, Aria felt the weight of the world on her shoulders. "I'll be there," she said, her voice steady despite the turmoil within. When she arrived at the hospital, the sterile smell of antiseptic filled the air. She rushed through the corridors, her heart pounding as she entered her father's room. He lay pale and frail on the bed, a shadow of the man she had once known. Her mother stood by his side, tears streaming down her face. "Aria," her mother said, her voice breaking, "I'm so glad you're here." As she approached her father, a rush of emotions overwhelmed her. "Dad," she whispered, taking his hand. "I'm here. I'm so sorry for everything." He opened his eyes slowly, pain etched on his face. "Alara, my girl, I didn't think I'd see you again." "I'm here," she repeated, tears falling freely. "You need to get better. I can't lose you." Her father's gaze softened as he looked at her, and in that moment, All the years of hurt and misunderstanding faded away. I'm sorry too. I never wanted to push you away. I just wanted what I thought was best for you. Ari felt a weight lift as she confronted the past that had haunted her for so long. It's okay, Dad, we can start over, together. As she spent time with her family in the hospital, she found herself reflecting on the choices that had brought her here. She realized that, despite her fears, her family would always be a part of her story. The shadows that had once haunted her began to dissipate as she embraced the light of forgiveness and healing. When she returned to the city, she was a different persona, stronger, more resolute. Victor was waiting for her, concern etched on his face. "How is he?" he asked gently. "He's stable," she replied, feeling the weight of emotions spilling from her heart. "But it made me realize how important it is to face our past and embrace the people we love." Victor stepped closer, wrapping his arms around her. "I'm proud of you for being brave, Arya. You've come so far." With renewed determination, Arya returned to her work with Victor. Together, they poured their souls into their joint exhibition, crafting a collection that reflected not only their artistic visions but also their journeys of healing and growth. The pieces became a celebration of resilience, a tribute to the shadows they had faced and the light they had embraced. On the night of the exhibition, the gallery buzzed with excitement. As guests mingled and admired their work, Ari felt a sense of fulfillment unlike anything she had experienced before. She stood alongside Victor, their fingers entwined, their hearts beating in unison. "This is just the beginning," Victor whispered, his eyes sparkling with pride. "We've created something beautiful together." As they unveiled their collection, applause erupted from the crowd, a wave of validation washing over Arya. She stood there, surrounded by the warmth of friends and supporters, and felt the weight of her past lift as she embraced her present. In that moment, Arya understood that life was a tapestry woven with threads of love, pain, and healing. Beneath the silk of her creations lay the stories of her heart, the struggles she had faced, the shadows she had chased, and the light she had found. As the evening drew to a close, Ari felt a sense of peace enveloping her. She had discovered that true beauty lay not in perfection but in the authenticity of one's journey. She had learned to embrace her vulnerabilities, to allow the light to shine through the cracks. With Victor by her side, Arya knew that together, they could navigate the complexities of life, supporting each other as they faced whatever challenges lay ahead. Their love had blossomed amidst the silk and shadows, a bond that transcended the surface and delved deep into the heart. As the city lights twinkled outside the gallery, Arya smiled, feeling the warmth of possibility radiate from within. Beneath the silk of her creations lay a new beginning, a promise of love, resilience, and the unwavering pursuit of dreams. She was ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing that she had the strength to chase the shadows and dance in the light. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.